Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube channel. My name is Mike. I'm continuing my Week 11 previews and analysis. This video is for the game between the New York Giants and the Green Bay Packers. It'll take place at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And, the Giants come in with a record of 3-6, having won 3 straight after an 0-6 start. The Packers are 5-4, now tied for second with the Bears in that NFC North behind the Detroit Lions. And the Packers, without Aaron Rodgers again this week, this is a team that's dealt with a multitude of injuries all year. Obviously, the most significant one is this one to Rodgers. I thought Scott Tolzien came in and afforded himself very well last week in a relief role of Seneca Wallace. I think Tolzien will improve once he becomes the starter. I think this is a guy who started at Wisconsin, is used to being a starting quarterback. I think he plays even well and does better than his 280-yard, 1 touchdown, 2 interception performance that he put up against the Eagles last week. Obviously, the focus will be on if the Packers can get a ground game going with the Eddie Lacy most of the time, but throwing a little bit of James Starks as well. This Giants defense has played better in their 3-game winning streak. A lot of credit, at least around here in these parts. I am in the New York tri-state area here. And a lot of the talk has been how good the back end of this defense has played for the Giants since John Beeson has arrived. Angelo Rolle playing well in the last 3 games. Well, I also like to point out the fact that the 3 quarterbacks they've beaten here in this 3-game winning streak are not exactly, in the upper echelon of the league. When you talk about Terrell Pryor last week, you talk about Matt Barkley in relief of Michael Vick during that Eagles game, and you talk about Josh Freeman, who may have had one of the worst games in NFL history when he started against the Giants on Monday night. So I would caution getting too high on the Giant defense right now. Their pass rush, although they had 4 sacks last week against a terrible Oakland offensive line, they still are 30th in the league in sacks. I think they're going to need to get pressure on Tolzien because I think he's more of a threat passing the ball than Freeman, Barkley, or Terrell Pryor are. And I think he has better weapons. Better weapons at least than the Raiders and certainly the Vikings. Obviously the Eagles have better weapons. They just had Matt Barkley throwing to them. But you have Boykin. You still have Jordy Nelson, who's healthy. I know they're banged up, but this team has continued to put up yards passing the ball even with all the injuries they've had. So can the Giant defense rise to the occasion here? Can Eli Manning get out of his funk? That's a big underlying story here with the Giants. They've won 3 in a row, but to me, he hasn't played much better. He only threw for 140 yards last week, against a Raiders defense that the week before led up 7 touchdowns to Nick Foles. I don't think you can underscore that here with how much Eli Manning is struggling here for the Giants this season. Andre Brown, I think, bailed him out last week, but can he do it again against a better defense, in my mind, in Green Bay? A better all-around defense, I think, than the Oakland Raiders are. And I think it's going to come down to who can establish the run better and which quarterback plays better. And right now, it may sound crazy to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if Scott Tolzien outplays Eli Manning on his home field. I just haven't seen anything from Eli to really indicate that he's on the cusp of breaking out. And I really like the Packers running game matchup against the Giants because, I look at how bad that Oakland offensive line is, and Rashad Jennings, the backup running back, running for almost 4.5 yards a carry last week against the Giants, and the fact that I don't think the Giants are going to get any pass rush, those are concerns for me. And obviously with the Packers, look, they're playing a backup quarterback on the road. There's obviously concerns that come along with that as well. So, while I don't particularly love either of these teams coming into this game, I think the Packers getting 5.5 points is way too much. So I like the Packers plus 5.5 and to win the game straight up. I just think the Packers, if you can look past the quarterback, the fact that it's a backup, I think you'll see they actually haven't been playing that bad here since Rodgers has went down. So give me, Packers plus 5.5 and to win the game outright here versus the Giants. Guys, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the YouTube comments. Hit me up on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I preview and recap every game every week, and I'm always talking the news of the day in the NFL. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have a great night.